my son's room, I think one of the key features is nightlight. And did a little searching. We really love the Psychoplanetarium that we got for the other room, but this is going to be the first room with the toddler bed. So I didn't want to have a $180 nightlight sitting on the floor for him to play with in the middle of the night, potentially smash, which he likes to do, which is one of the major downfalls with that specific model. So tracked down a cheaper nightlight model for him. He came across this guy, and it seems like a good compromise between the two units. This one has is advertised as like a space, but to me it's more of like an underwater scenario. There are a couple things about this thing that I really like, and a couple things that I'm not too crazy about. One thing is the remote is kind of a piece of crap, but what do you expect for the $30 price point? But that being said, all the controls that are on the remote are also on the unit itself. So that itself is not really a big deal. Another thing that's cool about it is it has very wide range of fields with the lens that's attached to it, the big wide dome lens. So this room that we're in is about 11 by 11 roughly. And in the center of the room, it manages to throw basically the entire ceiling and the floor down to about 3 feet off the floor. So basically the entire room. So I've had it cycling through the different colors on fade mode. And I don't know if I've got a defective unit or something, but when I turn the stars on here, the green just looks like a bunch of green dots. Now this one seems to work fine. But when I get to the other colors, you'll see what I mean. So, I mean, I guess maybe it's like stars. Let's see if we can shut off the... Let me cycle through this and see if I can turn this off and leave the stars on. Nope. I guess that's there to stay. There we go. Off. Bear with me. So the stars are too perfectly in much of a grid to really be considered stars. I mean, it looks like a club to me, club lasers. But I mean, I guess it's kind of cool, but stars is a bit of a stretch. The other effect is very much more underwater to me than space. But underwater is calming, so I'm not going to complain. I'm going to turn off the green here. Let's see. Turn off the green stars and I turn on the red. And I think the blue. Is it blue? I think it's just red. So the red ones, I don't know if that's like a defect or what, but they're just stripes across the ceiling, so that's kind of stinks. Me personally, I just prefer the underwater effect, the blue color specifically, and there's a very cool, let me see if we can find it. The red's okay, but it's pretty angry. I really like this black and white one, which is pretty cool. One thing to keep in mind is the light all the way up is pretty intense. I think it would keep my son up at night. And one thing that I do like about this that the Psychoplanetarium does not do is you can turn the light down and dim the light, which you can make it nice and subtle, nice and sleepy, which I think is pretty cool. So this one is pretty cool, this black and white colors. And then there's also a mix, like a fade, where it fades between the colors, which is what I had it cycling on before. So here's just mixtures. The blue and the green is pretty cool too. But me personally, I like either the black and white or just the blue, nice and subtle like that. This is a really nice underwater feel. Now also in the background, I don't know if the mic is picking it up very good, but there also is sounds that come with it. And I personally, I made it a pinch. I think it's great that it comes with it, but I think that the sounds are a little bit repetitive. And the quietest setting is still pretty loud. This is the thunder, and the thunder cracks are too uniform and too spaced the same every time. But I mean, if that's all you have, it's definitely better than nothing. Also, this unit does come with a sleep timer. I think it's 15 minutes to 2 hours, which I think is a good range, and variations between. So I'll cycle through the sounds. You got the thunder and lightning, which is going on in the background, like a car sound. Which that sounds pretty good. It sounds nice and uniform like a car. Doesn't have that click every time it cycles over. Obviously nothing at all. The crickets. Crickets are pretty cool too. But you could still recognize a pattern, which kind of drives me nuts. But like I said, if this is all you have, definitely I would totally use it. The sound machine is like one of the most important things for a kid, especially when they have the nice early bedtime. If you have any, like, it kind of blends in with all the sounds going on. The thing is I if it were up to me, I would get a separate sound unit, because the sound unit that we have stays on all night long, regardless. But the light, I have set it on a sleep timer, so 15 minutes, half an hour usually, and that shuts off. And then the sound machine goes all night long and through the naps. It's to drown out, you're doing dishes and cleaning on the other side of the door, it still drowns out all that sound. So I would get a separate unit. I have one specifically that I like to use, which I will also do a review on. But this, it's an adequate sound machine, but what are you going to do? Completely better than nothing. And that's just the running water. Let's see, I'll turn on the... So if I turn the brightness all the way up, turn on the fade, and it'll just cycle through all the different colors. And like I said, it does have that really nice sleep timer. Just trying to think if I'm missing anything here. Anyway, the nice thing about this is the lens. So if you have a small bedroom, it'll still cover the whole surface. If you have a... This is obviously on the floor with an 8-foot ceiling, an 11 by 11 bedroom, like I said. But for us, we're probably going to have it on a dresser. So you're still going to get the whole ceiling, part of the walls. Probably favor one side of the room more so than the other. And the center is obviously in a perfect world. But if you leave it in the center, first of all, when you come in the morning, like us, we have darkening shades. So first thing you're going to do is you're going to trip on it. And the other thing, too, is... my son is transferring to a toddler bed, so he's going to play with it. So we like that it's... $30 is still kind of a... I don't want to just throw away $30 if it gets smashed. I wouldn't be happy about it, but it's not like the Sega Planetarium that we have, which if you smash it, it's $180 plus the discs. So this is definitely a good compromise. Underwater is cool. I prefer space. I don't know that my 1.5-year-old son really cares, but he does like his nightlight. That is kind of like one of the things that he looks forward to at nighttime. So I'm curious to see. He hasn't seen this one yet. I'm sure he's going to love it. Hopefully it relaxes him as much as the planetarium does. Like I said, it's a completely different environment, completely different feel. It does get the walls, whereas the Sega Planetarium does not. But just to, like I said, just an overview. And the unit has all the buttons that's on the remote as well, in case you lose the remote or something else or it gets broke. I'm sure it's going to be what my son looks for. I'm sure it's going to get lost a million times. And I'm hoping that this thing on his dresser is high enough where he won't play with it during the middle of the night when he finally transitions to a toddler bed. Because his room is going to be the new nursery for the second baby. So we'll see how it goes with the transition. Let me know what you guys think in the comments below if you found another good nightlight that you like. I think this is better than just a simple nightlight for long-term use, not just baby use. But let me know what you guys think. Comments below, and I'll talk to you next time.